I came home from a 9-month deployment to find my wife had sold our house, my truck, and forged my signature on a loan I never approved. The hardest part wasn't losing the money. It's that she used the trust I left behind on purpose, knowing exactly how long she had before I'd be back to ask questions. I'm Staff Sergeant Marcus Hale, 36, Army, stationed out of Fort Bragg. Before deployment, my wife Jenna and I did what every deploying couple does. I signed a general power of attorney so she could handle anything that came up while I was gone. Bills, the house, the kids' school stuff. Standard, I trusted her completely. 11 years married. 9 months is a long time to not really know what's happening at home. I noticed things felt off near the end, shorter calls, vague answers about house stuff being handled. I told myself it was deployment strain. Everyone gets it. I landed at Fort Bragg in October. Jenna picked me up in a car I didn't recognize. Our house, the one we'd bought together 4 years earlier, my name primarily on the deed, wasn't where we drove. She took me to a rental 2 towns over. I need to tell you something, she said, before I'd even unpacked. She'd sold the house in June using my POA, signing the closing documents herself, telling the title company I was unreachable due to deployment status. The closing documents listed a notary named Roy Castellan. I didn't think much of the name yet. She'd also taken out a personal loan against my truck. The one still sitting in our old driveway, except it wasn't ours anymore, repossessed 2 months earlier on a loan I never approved and didn't know existed until the bank's letter showed up at the rental. The house sale netted almost $90,000 after the mortgage payoff. I asked where it went. Her brother Curtis. The same Curtis she'd bailed out twice before, against my objections both times, the same pattern that had caused real fights before I deployed. She'd used my absence to do, at scale, exactly what I'd told her I wasn't comfortable doing again. I didn't yell. I went quiet, the way I do before a mission, and started asking questions instead. I called the title company. The closing agent, Patrice Odom, confirmed Jenna signed using the POA and confirmed deployment status doesn't actually waive standard verification for a sale that size. She'd processed it anyway because Jenna brought in that same notary, Roy Castellan, to vouch for the situation personally. I called Tom next, my sister's husband, a real estate paralegal who'd helped us buy the house originally. Tom looked at the documents and called me back within the hour. The sale price was nearly $15,000 under appraised value, sold off market, directly to a buyer represented by Roy, who also turned out to be a licensed investor running his own LLC. It wasn't just Jenna bailing out her brother with money that was half mine. It was a coordinated, underpriced sale to people she knew personally, structured to close fast and quiet while I had no way to intervene from overseas. Roy had likely taken a cut on the spread, the same way Curtis got bailed out, the same way Jenna avoided ever explaining any of it to my face until I physically stood in front of her. I went to Curtis first, under the excuse of sorting out paperwork from the move. Casual, non-threatening, Curtis, relaxed, talked freely about how Roy had made it easy, how he didn't even need a real bank loan this time, joking that I'd probably never even notice the numbers. I recorded the call legally. One-party consent. Curtis had just confirmed in his own voice that the underpriced sale was intentional and structured specifically around my deployment. I took the recording and the documents to the legal assistance office on base. The short version, a POA signed before deployment carries real fiduciary protections under military law. Jenna hadn't just made a bad call inside our marriage. She'd breached a legal duty while I was serving overseas, which meant I had standing to fight for every dollar back, not split it. I called a family meeting under a simple excuse, splitting up remaining accounts now that we both understood we were separating. Jenna came expecting a financial conversation. Curtis came thinking it was moral support. Roy came because I'd told him, separately, that the title company flagged a discrepancy, needing his statement re-verified. I played Curtis's recording first. "That's not what I meant," he said immediately. "You said Jenna came through using my POA. You said Roy made it easy. You said I'd probably never notice the numbers." Roy's face shifted from confusion to panic. "I don't recall the specifics of every closing I notarize. You'll recall this one. $15,000 under appraised value to a buyer connected to your own LLC, notarized while the homeowner was deployed and legally unable to verify any of it. Jenna tried her own pivot. I was protecting our family, Marcus, Curtis needed help, and you weren't here to even discuss it. I wasn't here because I was deployed. You used that specifically because I couldn't be here. That's not protecting our family. That's exploiting the one window where I had no way to stop you. She didn't have anywhere left to go with it. What happened after wasn't instant, but it was complete. Roy's notary commission came under state review, ending the side income he'd built underpricing sales for his own LLC. Curtis, exposed as a knowing participant rather than just a struggling brother, got named personally in the civil claim, since the money went directly to him. Jenna's settlement reflected every dissipated dollar, the underpriced sale gap, the unauthorized truck loan. All of it, because the military's documentation made the breach part of the legal record, not just a marital disagreement she could spin her way out of. I bought a smaller place near base. Jenna and Curtis don't speak much anymore. From what my sister tells me, there's nothing left to split between them now. She spent 9 months using my deployment to steal the life we'd built together. She lost it all in less time than it took me to unpack my duffel bag.